Hello, and welcome back to episode 3 of my fiber arts knitting podcast. My name is Rachel. I am a knitter and a crocheter from southeastern Michigan, and this is a space for me to talk about my knitting, crocheting, knitting goals, and hold myself accountable, as well as show everyone what I'm working on and talk about what I want to make in the future, and those kinds of things. Now, I am coming to you from Snowmageddon 2024. So if my lighting keeps doing weird things, it's because the sun and the snow outside is doing weird things to my window that is behind me. And this is really the only spot in my house that I can record, because everything else is sort of a disaster at any given moment. So if the lighting keeps doing weird things, I do apologize for that. I will try and fix it, though I don't really know what I'm doing very much. And let's get started. So if you have watched my previous episodes, you may recognize this. This is my first finished object, which is the Stay Up Till Dawn sweater. And it is made in, Drops Wish. And this is what I have left. And I did weigh it. So one of these is from my Italian bind off on the body, and one of them is what I had left from one of the sleeves. So what I had left of a ball from one of the sleeves, and this is what I had remaining of a full ball from the last sleeve I did. So yeah, a couple weird things happened while finishing this pattern. As I went to do the decreases for the body bind off, for the hem bind off, for the ribbing, for the hem ribbing, I did the decreases. You decrease for a more like cinched in look at the waist. It didn't work for the size that I had made, and so I went back, I ripped back those decreases, that decrease round, and I counted my stitches, and somehow, now I know that I had the correct amount of stitches on my sleeves. Somehow I have number of stitches for a size 1 on the body. I have no idea how this happened, especially because I have the right number of stitches for the sleeves. But this is something that happened, and I have no clue how. So we're just here. We're a little confused. A good thing that it was oversized anyway, and it'll be even more oversized once I block this out, because I haven't blocked it yet, and don't tell anyone I haven't weaved in the ends. Any of them. So as much as I would love to get this finished up today and fold down and sew down the collar, I do want to make sure I put a little bit of elastic in this first, in order to just make sure that it works out the way that it is supposed to and doesn't stretch out over time. Though it is tight enough, I don't think it's too much of a worry. Oh, also, I cast on the right number of stitches on the neck. So I really have no clue how any of this happened, and I'm very confused about it, because I counted before I split for sleeves. This is gonna keep bothering me. You're free to just ignore this whole rant. So that brings me into my goals for this month, not this year. And those were to finish both baby works in progress that I am making as a gift for my best friend to finish one personal whip, which I have accomplished, to not buy more yarn or patterns or cast on any new projects until one work in progress is finished, and to bring one graveyard whip out of the graveyard. Those are my goals for this month, and I have completed one, and I am halfway to completing another, which brings me to my next finished object. It's not been blocked, ends are not woven in, but I have finished the good old raglan sweater, and it is just a little cotton sweater for, it is a size 0 to 3 month. It is absolutely darling, and it is in this little cute green and white stripes. I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn up my light and see if that helps this situation out. I think it is all the way up. I may need to turn on this one, just to kind of help out this situation, because I can see it keeps, like, it's trying to focus and it doesn't know what to do. But this is the finished object. Yeah, the ends, none of the ends are woven in yet, but it's off my needles. All of the knitting is finished, and that feels really great. And now, let's see. I think we will move on to acquisitions. So one of my acquisitions is not here yet. I bought some yarn from Webs to, or yarn.com, to make a hat for my brother-in-law for his birthday. And I feel very safe that he's not going to watch this. Maybe it's a mistake to feel that way, but who knows? We'll see. And so we'll move on to my next acquisition, which I could not help myself. I do already have the Saturn XL, but I got the Marina from Mood or Mud Living. It's so nice, so big. It has a zipper inside pocket. It's got 2 open pouch pockets. And I love it. It fits more than the Saturn XL, that's for sure. This was getting a little difficult to fit in there, but like I used to keep 3 to 4 projects in there at a time, and I would keep 1 extra ball of each project that I had in the bag. So it certainly fits a lot, but this one just fit this a lot more comfortably, and I still had a lot of room. I kept all of the leftover balls that I had, and I was keeping 2 other projects in there. They were small ones, but still, and there was still room, plenty of room. So really love that, really recommend it. I bought it because it was on sale on Universal Yarns. Only reason I purchased it. Alright. Moving on to some other acquisitions. These are, and yes, they are in a candle lid, some cute little stitch markers that I got from a shop on Etsy. If I can pick this one up. I got this adorable little Harry Potter set. It's, oh gosh, Ron, Hermione, and Draco. They were out of the Golden Trio. So I got these, and they have little clasps, and I will put the Etsy shop information on the screen and probably in the description down below. I'll put a link to it for where I got it, but I've seen a few of these like exact sets that I got on a couple of different shops. And then I got these adorable like hanging cat ones. Very cute. I love cats. I have 4 of them. And I got a mystery set, which I have not opened up, but I will in just a moment because these ones will be what I'm gonna use for progress keepers. And they're just random little things and they are very, very cute. Alright, so now we are going to move on to works in progress. So first, of course, I've got the Anna's Summer Cardigan by Petite Knit. The only progress I have made on this, I was just about there during last week's podcast, but I have bound off the body, so I finished the base ribbing and cast off that. And I have not yet picked up for either the button band or the sleeves. I'll do the sleeves first, probably. I am now obsessed with Magic Loop. So after last week's episode, I was nearly done with the first sleeve on this sweater, and when I got to the decreases and the cuff, I decided I was just gonna go for it, and I did Magic Loop. I'm obsessed. I can't stop. I used it for the good old raglan, for the second sleeve after that. It's so nice. I love it. You can't stop me. I'm a fiend. Maybe I'll knit a sock now. I'm never gonna quit. That's all. It's never gonna stop. So very random little rant, but my next work in progress is my Honey Cardigan by Victoria Lindbergh, or Kutavakika, here on YouTube. Again, I'm like, I don't know which side is the front. It's becoming an issue. I'm pretty sure it's this. It's a half fisherman's rib cardigan, and it is paneled. And I hate putting this together. It is made out of Drops Melody, I want to say it's their brushed alpaca, and this is being worked on my 5mm Knitter's Pride Gingers, which is the first set of circulars that I got. And I got them from my husband for our dating anniversary after I first started knitting. And I'm gonna take the Rainbow Fish Progress Keeper. I'm gonna put that on here so that we can check in with my progress next week. And now for one of the oldest works in progress that I have, and that is my Sporty Knit Skort by oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to look at my notes. I did not write it down on this one. Sporty Knit Skort by Handmade by Florence is her YouTube name. I did not write down, I think that is her designer like Ravelry name as well. So, and this one is kind of a graveyard work in progress, but I definitely have some that actually are, because this one I have worked on pretty consistently. I've only put it away for the last like month and a half, I want to say, for like I had Christmas things to work on, and I had things that I was carrying around in my bag, and it was just taking up space, and I did not have time to really work on it. So we're taking a progress keeper and we are putting it on the last stitch I knit, and we will check in with that next time and see how much I have actually knit. Yeah, so now we will talk about my knitting goals. I have a goal to make myself so I've made my husband the men's pattern stitch pullover in this deep foresty green color, and he jokes that it's going to be his Christmas sweater. I'll put a picture of it. It's still upstairs. I kind of forgot about it this week, so I did not finish the blocking of the panels, so I still need to stitch up the seams. I'll probably start on that later today. Whether we actually do it, by we I mean me, whether we actually do this properly and like mattress stitch it or something is TBD. I may pound my head against a wall and just straight up crochet slip stitch it. We're not sure yet. I am also testing this out to see how I do with like alpaca and stuff because I don't know. So I'm a little bit itchy around the collar, which I think is to be expected. I have really, really sensitive skin. So we're gonna see how it goes. The only thing, I didn't put like a camisole or a t-shirt or anything under this. I just have a bra on. We're really just diving in. My skirt that I put on is high-waisted, so it does kind of go up underneath, so it protects my stomach a little bit from it. So far it is really soft. I do really love it. It's definitely warm, which I need right now because I live in a really old house that is very drafty, and we keep the heat low because I'm cheap. So made my husband this sweater. He always was joking the whole time it's gonna be his Christmas sweater. He's gonna wear it every Christmas because it's like a green color. And so I wanted to make myself a red sweater to wear on Christmases, and of course to wear all year round. And I was debating between the Ingrid sweater and for a while I was really sure that I was gonna make the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit, and then Victoria Lindbergh Kudovakika put out the Salty Days sweater, and it's so beautiful and feminine and does not have those like crisscrossy cables, which is what is on my husband's sweater. It's got like these like diamond and X crisscrosses, those types of deals. So this is not the exact yarn that I would be using. This is leftover Knitting for Olive heavy merino from a sweater that I made my mom. And I did a gauge swatch. It's not on gauge, and I didn't think it would be because it is already a little bit thinner, like a little bit lighter than the Sandnes Garn Double Sunday. It's got more yardage per 50 grams than that, so I didn't think it was gonna work. The pattern also calls for a mohair, which I've never used before, so my plan, you can tell how much I love Kudovakika because I'm bringing up another one of her patterns. I want to go to my local yarn shop. I was gonna do that today and buy some yarn and some merino and mohair and make the grandmacore hood pattern that she released pretty recently, I believe. And I wanted to make that up, and I think if I can stand mohair around my neck and face, and of course we'll see if it like causes any discomfort on my hands while I'm working with it, I will definitely be purchasing the mohair for that pattern. Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes, because I'm not entirely sure yet if we're gonna be purchasing mohair for it or not. And if not, I will just have to find a heavier, more like true worsted weight, because this on the Knitting for Olive website says it's worsted, but this is definitely it's a DK. This is definitely a DK weight yarn, at least in my opinion. And it's really surprising that the suggested recommended needle size is a 4.5 to me. I don't know why that's surprising, it just is, but if you can see, this fabric is very like holey and see-through, and I think that is kind of the look that she's got in the photos, from what I can tell, but this isn't even to gauge. It's definitely a tighter gauge, and I can totally knit a size up in that case than what my size would call for, but it'd be getting really complicated, and I wouldn't know how much yarn to order and all of those things. So we're gonna just see how it goes, see how things go. So that brings me to the last portion of the video, which is what I have been watching, and I've actually been going back for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why this feeling has come over me, but I've been rewatching the Supergirl series on Netflix. It's just like a comfort watch. I've never even finished the series, but I loved the series. I want to say, like, it's been a while now. I think I watched through like the 3rd season, and then we no longer had cable. And I didn't like keep up on it, and by the time that it came out on Netflix, I like wasn't feeling it any longer, which is fine. And then of course I haven't been reading too much this week. I'm not entirely sure why, because I've been a reading fiend. So of course the moment I go out and I purchase like actual real physical books, I'm like, I just really want to watch TV, which is super strange because I have not been watching any TV at all for months now. And when I say months, I mean months. And then, of course, I'm going to mention my favorite podcaster, and if you're watching this, I can't imagine that you haven't watched her podcast, which is the Creabea, one of my favorites. I have not knit anything from her yet. I definitely want to in the future. So I'm gonna look out for what kind of patterns from her I may want to knit, and see where we go from there. Alright, well, I think that I am gonna go change into some sweats, take off the makeup that I put on just to film this, and hide from Snowmageddon in my bed. Maybe play some Pokemon. So I will see you next week and see if we have any other finished objects. I definitely don't have anything close enough to finished to pull out a finished object. Oh, you know what? I did want to mention this sweater in total. The app that I use for my patterns and my row counting which I will link below. It's called the Row Counter app. I do pay for the yearly premium subscription. I think it's like $5. It may be $14. I don't know. It's one of those two, and it's like for the whole year. I pay for the premium subscription for it to like be able to put more secondary counters and more parts on your each individual project. I just find it more convenient that way so that I can keep things how they need to be. But this in total took me just under 30 hours to knit, and that there are of course moments where I left it running unattended when I was not knitting on this, and there are moments where I forgot to turn it on or it turned off on its own, and were points where I was just knitting without it running. So around 30 hours, I think it was 29 and a half at the end. And there we go. You've seen an ADHD moment from me. I knew this was something that I wanted to bring up. I was thinking about it last night when I cast off the last stitch on this. And it just slipped my mind. So I'm gonna go pull my husband's sweater off my blocking mats and block this bad boy. And then I want to hide from Snowmageddon. So have a great rest of your week. Have a great week. And I will see you next week.